but it's just, for football, it's a great stadium. Fantastic. It was a ridiculous story, leaving Motherwell and a Bosman, and I came here. Never in a million years did I think that was going to happen to me. And obviously Stefan Freund, he hurt his knee in Euro 96 for Germany, and I managed to get in against Dusseldorf. My dad came over and we won 4-0 that time, and it just kind of snowballs from there. I knew what kind of fight I had to have in my hands to stay in the team, but it set you up and it gave you a great level to play football at. I mean, as I said, the league was really strong, and the Champions League was just a fairy tale, really.
In the final itself, Paul was asked to do one of the most difficult jobs in football: neutralise the legendary Zinedine Zidane.
I knew Zidane was obviously the kind of main man, and I was used to playing against so-called playmakers at that time, but I knew that he was a massive threat, and which, as you see today, he's probably one of the greatest players in the world. And but I was just fortunate enough, things went my way at that game. To be fair, I had guys run about me who helped me an awful lot. Football's never a one-man game, but I knew I had to keep my eye virtually on him. And but no, it was a great experience to play against him. The thing was, the night before, the trainer came up to me and said to me, if you get the ball, try and hit a diagonal pass. And funny enough, we got the corner. I remember Del Piero, obviously, when he scored the goal to make it 2-1, I felt sick when he scored because I thought, don't tell me, because you're so close to winning it. And then Lars came on, and I mean, his first touch of the ball, he scores that wonder goal, which at that time I knew, when you could see their faces, they weren't going to come back at the time. And the final whistle was just an amazing thing. It really, I mean, you don't realise how big it is until you're actually playing it. It's a massive thing to do. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm really proud to have done it, but I'm really lucky to have won it as well.
The man who lifted the trophy that night was his good friend Michael Zorc, now director of football at Dortmund. Injury prevented Zorc playing in the final. He did come on in the dying seconds, but never actually touched the ball. A fact Paul never lets him forget.
No entrance for foreigners here. Paul.
All right. How are you?
Fine?
All right.
Huh?
This is the only guy ever only left the European Cup with no ball contact. No ball contact, and he left it.
Fortunately, we won against Juventus because our team played only with 10, you know, and Paul joined Juventus for this game, playing beside Zidane. Yeah?
You can see why I'll get the hump. I carried him for the whole game. No.
But after the high of victory, Paul had to face the reality that his family were not settled in Germany. Faced with the choice between further success with Dortmund and his family's happiness, Paul knew where his priorities lay.
My son took pneumonia when he was here, which was really, really hard for us. It wasn't a nice time when you're in hospital for a week or so, and the wife's finding it hard to communicate with the doctors and things like that. They don't have their family around about them to help them. When I was away playing or training or whatever, it's hard for them, and that was the time we said, okay, it's maybe better to be at home.
It was a private decision. For us, not easy, because it was a bad situation in which Paul said, okay, I must have now a solution.
We'd made up our mind, and as I said, we could tell to know that I was coming back, and but no, that's part of the history, the whole thing. I played here at the right time with great players. That, as I said, I'll never change anything that would happen.
Paul's last game was against Parma on November the 5th, 1997. It was an emotional night for the fans as well as the player.
I never expected the send-off that I got, especially being a foreigner and being here a short period of time, but I never ever thought what happened was actually going to happen. I had to go on the TV the night before to tell them I was leaving, and it was a horrible thing to do because they were that good to me, and I wanted to say goodbye the right way. We came up with the idea with the banner. I left it there, actually, at the number 13 there. I left it there. And then after the game, they kept on singing my name, which was weird for me because I never ever experienced that. I'd done the lap of honour right all the way around. Then they started to sing Walk On and they wouldn't leave the stadium, and I came back out and I watched the Walk On thing, which was unbelievable what I'd seen there. It was an unbelievable thing for me. And when they finished that, I gave them a wave and ran in, but it was an emotional thing, it really was. I always say that, unless you were there, then you wouldn't realise what it was like that night. I mean, my wife was crying back home when she seen the game. It was just an incredible experience, but something I would never change it for the world, never.
The supporters are still loving him. If you are asking for some players from the past, Paul Lambert is one of the heroes.
Celtic unveiled their 8th signing of the season, £2 million midfielder Paul Lambert.
Paul returned to Scotland as part of Celtic's bid to stop Rangers winning 10 in a row. The West of Scotland boy needed no explanation as to just what was at stake.
He was so focused, great for a football player. One year you're focused and trying to win the Champions League, and then the following year you're out to try and stop 10 in a row. No, it's absolutely fantastic to play at that level 2 seasons back to back. No, such a cause here in Scotland, and Paul knew all about the background of Rangers and Celtic, so it's not as if he was new to it and you've got to tell him, look, this is so important to do this. He knew we had to be our best to win it.
I just arrived that summer myself, and straight away, because the Rangers have been winning 9 in a row, and all the fans, as soon as you signed, said make sure they don't win 10 in a row. And I mean, there was a new coach in Wim Jansen who bought both me and Paul, and we just had a fantastic season.
When I came back, we lost our first 2 games. We lost to Rangers. It was my first. I was on the bench that day and lost 1-0, and I lost to Motherwell the week after 2-0. And people were calling me a jinx and everything outside Celtic Park. It was just incredible. And I think, God, maybe I'm mad. Maybe I'm not ready for this.
He was ready, and on the 2nd of January, Celtic went into a game they couldn't afford to lose.
We knew we had to win the game. And Rangers are a right strong team at that time. When McCoy, and McCall, and Goff, and I think Gazza was still there at the time, Loudrup and things like that. So it was a really powerful team at that time. But we were into the game. I just remember when Craig scored the opening goal.
McNamara, lovely ball for Burnley. That's the goal Celtic have been waiting for.
And at 1-0 you think, oh, just hang in there and just see it through. And then the second goal came when it just felt. I mean, it's one of the ones, honestly, you can hit it 100 times and maybe 99 times you could fly over the bar or you could go anywhere. Or the way Andy Gorham was performing that time, you could probably save it. It was fortunate for me. It just went in the top corner.
It's Paul Lambert. It's his first goal for Celtic, and he couldn't possibly have scored it in more dramatic circumstances.
People probably this day still talk about that goal.
I think he miskicked it a wee bit. A wonderful strike, top right hand corner, no chance for the goalie, but Paul, the celebrations, fantastic, absolutely fantastic after it, what a lift. But I always remember one thing about that game was Paul Lambert after the game went over to the disabled section, took off his jersey and gave it to one of the Celtic fans in there, and I just thought, the emotion going on round about that game, to have the presence of mind, to know he was going to do that after the game was fantastic, and that just sums the guy up. When the whistle blew, the crowd surged forward and surrounded me, and being an old firm fixture, I was slightly anxious. This wasn't kind of usual behaviour, and the next thing I know, this number 10 shirt, as it was then, was thrust in my face by Mr. Lambert, and my brother's safely tucking it into my juke to protect it from all the other people around, and make sure we got it home safely.
I thought that was a very touching moment. No idea why he did that, but I just think it was something he had to do, and it was probably like himself thinking that, wanting to say, well, I'm now part of the Celtic family with the very fact that I've scored in an Old Firm game.
The title race went to the last day of the season. Rangers' ambitions of a record 10th successive championship could only be realised if Celtic failed to beat St Johnstone, win, and the championship would return to Celtic Park for the first time in a decade.
You can remember the tension and everything in the last day of the season. I wouldn't wish that my worst enemy, that pressure, but we got off to a flyer.
Larson lining up for the shot! What a start for Celtic!
Henrik scored a great goal, and obviously Harold finished it off.
In for Harold Bradback! He's done it!
The medal itself, I mean, as I always say, it's a great thing to win things, and that was what really you had to come back for, was to try and stop that 10 in a row. I'm just fortunate to have won a couple of things, but the relief of everything, to stop that whole thing was just great for Celtic.
But the manager who had succeeded where so many others had failed dropped a bombshell at the title party. He gathered his players to tell them he was leaving the club.
We never knew up until we went to play in Portugal. Wim told us that he was leaving, which I couldn't believe, because one season there and then he was away. The thing that annoyed me the most is when you come back and you work so hard to get something, and then your man decides to leave for reasons best known to himself, and that was Wim's decision. And he would always go down in Celtic history as a manager that actually stopped the 10 in a row.
But there were worrying times for the club, and Juventus coach Marcelo Lippi added to those worries when he tried to prize Paul away from Celtic before the arrival of Joe Venglos. Paul stayed, but Celtic won nothing. By the start of the following season, John Barnes and Kenny Dalglish were installed as the management dream team. But for Celtic, it was to turn into a nightmare. Veteran striker Ian Wright was brought in to fill the gap left when Henrik Larsson suffered a horrendous leg break. He and Paul were soon close friends.
The Kaiser, they call him, the main man, he's the one, he's in charge. He does, you know, the talks in the huddle, well, like just something that you could put hairs on, like the hairs on the back of your neck stand up when he goes for it, because you could just see it. You can see the passion and you see everything. And it's really weird because it's a time of really quite high emotion. The fans, the guys, we get in together, and it's really quite a privileged moment for me to have been in a Celtic huddle. And like with Paul, you know, it's the first one I was in. All I could remember was that he was so passionate, and he was going on and on about it, and I was thinking, whoa, this is amazing, man, this is really quite deep stuff.
But in Wright's first Old Firm game, things were to go badly wrong for his new friend.
Losing my teeth was bad enough. Obviously lost the four front ones, and the two bottom ones came through the bottom lip a wee bit, and I think losing the bone of your gum ain't a great thing, that. And that's why I had to get the teeth kind of rebuilt. And but now I don't have a problem. But at first it was awkward to get used to that. But I think in the video you can actually see the teeth coming out. But I can't remember anything about that unless you showed me a video. That's how I can tell you. But to this day, that game, I can't remember a thing.
Paul was carried off and had to watch from the sidelines as Celtic's season went into a tailspin. Their league form suffered, but worse was to come in the Scottish Cup.
We would not have lost against Inverness Caledonian Thistle if Paul Lambert was playing. I really, really do genuinely believe that.
But it did happen. Just 90 minutes and 3 goals later, John Barnes' tenure as Celtic manager was over.
And that's probably the game that hurt everybody the most, losing in the Scottish Cup tie to First Division on your own backyard. And ultimately the manager left and you've got to go back to square one.
Under Martin O'Neill, there is stability and success around Celtic Park these days, as well as a fiercely competitive edge to everything that happens. Not least the players' daily pool challenge.
No, we've been playing for a few years now. We just play the first of 3, and whoever wins is over the moon. Actually, it makes my day when I beat them, to be fair. I'm not really sure how this actually came about here. Do you, Henry? How we started playing this?
Oh, we just played.
We just played and then...
Because we don't like to gamble.
No, we
So
don't.
We just said
No.
the loser makes the coffee next morning.
So, he's a great coffee maker.
You see, I make myself a coffee anyway in the morning, so I really don't mind. But he absolutely hates it when he loses, so that's why I'm playing. Did you get this on camera? Because this is the way he normally plays, just snookers.
Yeah, there you go.
That's how boring he is.
That's the Glasgow way. You know what's coming up now? See?
I'll tell you what's coming up, it's a snooker.
Golden boot winner, look, he's playing snookers. That is pure filth again. You've seen it. I've not played one.
Learn from the best.
Not played one snooker this whole game.
Foul and a miss.
See, he knows he's got a chance. That's why he's taking his time. Remember, cut it if I lose this game.
So, viewers, if you don't see this game on television, I won.
I'm just going to get this door just in case he jumps up and down. Look at him taking a breather. I'll be back in a minute.
I don't want to be snooker, do I?
What? Look at him. He's delighted with his smile. Right.
No more service, monsieur! Clock you!
John, I won 3-2.
Clock you!
John, I won 3-2.
Clock you!
3-2, I won.
Hey!
I won 3-2. That's it,
Hey,
guys.
3-2. Hey. Ah. Hey.
3-2, John.
You got that one, eh?
We all got on really, really well. I think that's important when you have success, that shows on the field. When we go out there, we work hard for each other. But that comes from the dressing room as well, that we try our best. And if it works at the end of the day, then great. If it doesn't, then it'll never be for lack of trying. I mean, you see the manager saying that we give him everything we've got, and that's definitely the case. We give everything we've got.
He's got great courage in the field, great moral courage in the field. Paul doesn't hide. That's the main point, is that when things are going badly for him, he still wants the ball. And I think that is a very admirable trait in anyone. And he has got it in abundance.
Nor did Paul hide when his country came calling. He made his Scotland debut against Japan in 1995. But the highlight came 3 years later, the opening match of the World Cup in France. His number 14 jersey is one of the more prized possessions.
I think this one, obviously, being the World Cup, which is, I mean, it's probably my first and last one that I was ever going to play in. And I had the chance, obviously, I'm very fortunate to have played in one, and obviously playing against Brazil, which was a massive game for us. I mean, opening the World Cup, if you're not going to win it, the next best thing is obviously to open it, especially against the world champions at that particular time, and favourites probably again for that tournament. So, but I think the World Cup's a nice thing to have it, to show. I mean, there's been better players than myself, never been to one, and I'm just fortunate enough to have played in one.
After 27 Scotland appearances, Paul called a halt to his international career following Scotland's failure to qualify for Euro 2000.
The game against Belgium, we were winning 2-0 and everything was going great, and they virtually scored in the last minute. That was a game that hurt us, but I think probably telling Craig that was going to stop was probably the hardest thing that I've done in the national team.
Failure was also to signal the end for Craig Brown. His successor was Bertie Voets, and the new national coach made a beeline for the 33-year-old Celtic captain.
I could not understand why he's not playing in a national team, and you know, I'm here and I build up a new team for the future, but I need also experienced player, and Paul is one of the experienced player in my team, also the other player, but Paul, he's a leader, and we need a leader.
He's coached better players than I'll ever be. I mean, the players that he has coached and what he's done in the game, I think you've got to give him a lot of respect for what he's achieved. I had to give him his give him his place. There's no point in shutting the door in the guy's face and saying I'm doing a flat no, not talking to you. I give him the courtesy of speaking to him. And we came to the agreement, if we do qualify, then I'll see it through, but if we don't, and by the end of June or something drastic happens that we've not got a chance, then the manager knows, he knows it's time to walk away.
Paul's return to the competitive international arena came in that memorable match in the Faroe Islands.
People just thought we had to turn up and beat them. I knew it, because I'd been up there before with like some Matt Earley and guys like Colin Henry, and I knew how hard a game that was going to be. And sure enough, you find yourself 2-0 down.
In the half-time against the Faroes, he spoke very, very positive words to the young player and to all the other players.
At half-time, there was just, I don't know, there was just an acceptance thing. The thought of coming home and you're absolutely slaughtered. I mean, you were getting absolutely slaughtered anyway. I mean, we got it anyway, obviously, but I wouldn't have taken a thought if we'd lost 2-0. It would have been an absolute disaster. Whereas now, 4 points, it's not too bad, you know.
Petrov chests it down, and Paul Lambert scores.
Paul is, I think he's 33 years of age now at this minute. He hates to be reminded of it, but at some stage or another he'll have to retire. He's been terrific for the football club here in general, and he's certainly been terrific for me.
I think we're going well. We don't have any problems. Everything's fine. Even if I'm not even playing or whatever, I don't go and bat his door down and say why I'm not playing, things like that. But too long in the tooth for that sort of thing. But no, I have respect for him, and you're hoping that he has respect for yourself.
Lambert's pass. Pedro! Oh, yes!
Another European medal could be just around the corner. But as the nation looks forward to Saturday's qualifying match with Iceland, Paul has his hands full looking after Christopher, Kira and Nicola, while his wife Monica takes care of their new baby daughter Victoria. For the boy from Linwood, it's no a bad old life.
He was the slowest Scottish player I've ever seen and played with.
The slowest Scottish player ever? Nah, what do you mean slow? I mean, running-wise or intelligence-wise.
That's scary. You know what I mean? Once you can understand Paul Lambert, you most probably understand any Scottish person.
I'll still hope to play a high level for a couple of years in. I've got 2 more years at Celtic. I'll need to think what I'm going to do for there. I don't want to, I've always said I never want to drop down a level, because I'll take to come back and play against Celtic at Celtic Park, and no, it's just, I don't see myself doing that, but definitely want to try and get into the management side. And as I say, I'm lucky enough to have played under great managers who you take bits from. But at the end of the day, it'll boil down to myself. But that's what I want to do, be a manager.
Kimberley scored a great goal! He's done it! Murder! It's there! Celtic has scored!
The echoes of Celtic's glorious past reverberate still around Lisbon's National Stadium. For it was here on a balmy May evening in 1967 that the club's greatest ever team played their way into football folklore and lifted the European Cup. Of course, Martin O'Neill's men are making history as well. Celtic have never been this far in the UEFA Cup, and only Boa Vista are blocking their path to the final. So sports scenes come to Lisbon to get the Portuguese point of view from a local lad who also knows a thing or two about Celtic.
After 67 is one step to stay in the final UEFA Cup again. Is very important to the people, because the people Celtic people deserve win some important title in Europe.
So tell me about Boavista. What kind of team are Boavista? What kind of games can Celtic expect from Boavista?
Boavista is a strong team. It's a very good organized. He's a very good coach. He's a jumper shake. He's a very aggressive team. He's play it very passionate. He's a very aggressive. Don't ever afraid from the oppositors, and all the time give 100% in the field.
Who are their top players?
He's a good player in the defender. He's Paulo Turra. He's a Brazilian guy. He's very good. And in midfielders, I don't know if he will go play in the middle or the winger. He's a Jorge Couto. He's playing in Porto. He's a very clever player and experienced player. And after I have another Brazilian, Cafu and Silva, the striker. He's very strong. It's a very hard and tough game, but I think the Celtic go in the final.
So you think Celtic will have enough over 2 legs, 2 games to beat Boavista?
Yeah, I see. It's not very easy. It's not go easy to Celtic beat Boavista, but I'm Portuguese. I'm very pleased if Boavista go in the final against Porto, but my heart stays the Celtic.
Displaying his goal-scoring prowess. That's what the Celtic supporters wanted. Cadet.
With Cadet and Di Canio, Celtic played sexy football but won nothing. George feels the current team's far better balanced.
The team is more equal in the all sectors. I think when in '97 the team have more creativity, is more fantasy, is more emotion, and maybe because me and Paul is Latin people and Latin players, more emotion in the game is a little bit different. I think it's more emotion, and I think the supporters enjoy when feel the same emotions like the Latin people feel.
And the Latin talents of Claudio Caniggia are seriously tempting George into a shock return to Scottish football if the right offer comes along.
What happened with Caniggia? I think he stayed near 2 years without playing and go in Dundee and play 1 season and score goals. Where is he now? The big club. When I'm in Glasgow in the beginning of February, Livingston shows some interest to go in Glasgow and training and play the last games from the league, last 5-6 games. But it's don't make a concrete offer. And I'm 34 years. Of course, I'm not training the last 8 months. It's not very good because the players still training 8 months. My performance never go be like the players stay in the club.
For the moment though, George Cadet is loving life in Lisbon, and it's not hard to see why. The soundtrack to much of his happiness is provided in more ways than one by his pop star girlfriend Nicole, who he fell for last year when they were both contestants on Portugal's Celebrity Big Brother.
I'd avoid him if I could, although he'd make an effort to come and speak to me. But when I got to know him, then I got to know the real side of him and what's not to love. I went to Scotland with him and I saw the game against Livingston, and it was very exciting. I literally got like the goosebumps, you know, when I heard everybody singing, you know, his song. He has a song there, and everybody sang, and when he got out of the stadium, everybody was waiting for him, and he gave out a whole bunch of autographs, and it was very, very nice to see how warmly they received him again.
So it seems like life is very good for both of you. All you need now is for Celtic to get to the UEFA Cup final and win it for your perfect year.
Yeah.
Yes.
He'd be very happy, I think so.
Life in Lisbon is tough for George.
Celtic stand on the verge of another European final. 60,000 fans packed into Celtic Park for tonight's first leg of the UEFA Cup semi-final. Celtic against Boa Vista. Hello, it's as big a night of European football as Celtic have faced for a generation. Has been outstanding, and now just 2 matches stand between them and a trip to Seville for next month's final. We're literally just minutes away from kick-off time. Paul Elliott and Gordon Smith are with me in the studio. We can't wait, I'm sure you can't either, but let me just very quickly tempt you with a Game Boy SP if you correctly predict Sandy Clark's man of the match tonight. Let's hope that he's wearing green and white. Right, let's get to Celtic Park then. 49 matches since Celtic last lost at home. Tonight they badly want to notch up number 50. Our commentary team are Sandy Clark and firstly Rob McLean.
Thanks, Dougie. A new generation of Celtic supporters have been getting a taste of European success. The club's last semi-final was in 1974. The last time Celtic reached a European final was 4 years earlier, losing to Feyenoord in Milan, before most of the current playing squad were born. But this UEFA Cup adventure continues, led by the imposing figure of Paul Lambert, who of course in his time with Borussia Dortmund, a European Cup winner himself. And Rob Douglas behind him will be back in goal, replacing Javier Sanchez-Broto, who played at Dundee at the weekend. And the scene is set for one of those very special European nights at Celtic Park, and there have been plenty in recent times. 2 games away from Seville on the 21st of May, the UEFA Cup final. And later tonight, it's another Portuguese side, the Portuguese league leaders, Porto, against Lazio in the second semi-final. Celtic have set themselves up with terrific wins on the way against Blackburn Rovers and Celta Vigo and Stuttgart and Liverpool, who will forget that night at Anfield when Celtic won 2-0 against Liverpool. And when you look at the Premiership table now, it tells you that both Blackburn and Liverpool are in the top 7. Stuttgart are second in the Bundesliga, and Celta Vigo are still in the top 5 in La Liga in Spain. Impressive scalps to reach the last 4 of this competition. They can't wait, nor can we. Let's remind ourselves of the 2 teams. Celtic, 1 player short of full strength. Only Chris Sutton, had he been available, would have made Martin O'Neill change this selection. Rob Douglas back in goal. Gus Valhaeren returns to the defence. And Didier Agathe is restored at right wing-back after playing just 70 minutes for the under-21s on Monday night.
It's a very strong Celtic team, no question about that. It's so important to have Rob Douglas back and Gus Valhaeren. But the real bonus for the Celtic fans has got to be Didier Agathe. He's maybe not 100% fit, but he's so important to Celtic down that right-hand side, especially here at Celtic Park. He creates and scores so many goals. That's a real bonus for them tonight.
Not a lot of well-known names in this Boa Vista side, but it does look to be a team packed with defenders and defensive midfield players as well. Striker Silva is noticeable by his absence, but there are 5 of his fellow Brazilians in this starting 11.
Well, it'll be interesting, Rob, just to see how Boa Vista line up. We believe they're going to play 4-4-2, very strong at the back with the Brazilian pairing of number 5 Videa, number 4 Tura, and it's around the striking pair. The 2 that are looking for a vital away goal tonight are also from Brazil, number 26 Claudio and number 8 Duda.
It's a big boost to Celtic to have Didier Agathe back on that right flank, and such is his fitness that he's pitched in right from the start, and he has sometimes seemed to save his best for these European nights. Rob Douglas has played only 6 games for Celtic in 2003, and listen to this: 2 against Stuttgart, 2 against Liverpool, and 2 against Rangers. When the big games are on, he's around. And his opposite number is the goalkeeper, the captain, the star man for Boa Vista, Portuguese international. And in the penalty shootout against Malaga in the quarter-finals, he didn't just save one, he scored one as well. The referee is from Belgium, Frank de Blekeren. A man who's already handled Champions League matches involving British teams this season. Fasten your seatbelts. Celtic unbeaten in European ties on their home patch since August 2001. That was against Ajax. In a tie, of course, they've already pretty much won with a 3-1 win in Amsterdam. Since then, Porto and Rosenborg and Juventus and Valencia and Basel and Sedova, Blackburn, Celta Vigo, Stuttgart and Liverpool have all been here. And none of them have managed to record a win. It's a terrific record. Can Celtic keep it up? Julian Petrov and Thompson. He's another big match player for Celtic in this position. Big match goals for them this season. Long from Mjalby for Hartson, and it's the first free kick of the match as the Boa Vista defence struggle to cope with the Welsh international striker.
It's the first high ball into John Hartson. I'm just watching the other start from the Portuguese, Rob. I think they're going to play 5 across the back. It was number 3, Avalos, there, who committed the free kick against John Hartson. So they're certainly going to try and keep it tight at the back, especially early on.
Welcome to Glasgow, says John Hartson. It's Henrik Larsson, it's into the wall. Chased by Duda, but across goes Neil Lennon. Although he won't catch that.
He's such an important player for Celtic. Often not recognised the amount of work he does tidying up in front of the back three.
Neil Lennon's not been booked in this European campaign. And considering the way he plays, that's got to be a surprise and it's going to be an achievement as well. Hartson wanted too long the ball. He was robbed of possession and as he tugged at Pedrosa's shirts. It's a free kick for the Portuguese team, who are 10th in their National League table. Jamie Pacheco's side 40 points behind the leaders, Porto, who of course in the other semi-final. Balde, beaten in the air, that's not too often that happens. Celtic have the free kick quickly taken. The legendary number 96 on the back of Anunci Sao. Goes Hartson, and full-blooded was the challenge.
Well, it's John Hartson being aggressive again, isn't it? He's a sandwich between the two yellow jerseys there.
It was Anunci Sao and Avalos, the two players who went for it for Boa Vista, Sandy, and well, they thought 2 against 1 would win, but it didn't.
Avalos is actually doing a man-marking job on John Hartson. And Anunci Sao coming back into the fray there. He'll be sorry to work back the way that Rob's got so on because of that.
Balde with the free kick. Confusion in the Boa Vista defence. Balde back to Douglas. And into Sao back on the pitch, having received some attention. And number 3 is Avalos, who runs that one back to his goalkeeper, Ricardo, 13 times capped by the Portuguese national team. Big Phil is the coach there, of course, these days, and it seems Ricardo is his first choice. Johan Mjalby's
clearance, out for 4 months this season. Celtic happy to have him back, such a key figure in the three-man rear guard. Number 19 is Mario Locha, the left back. Picks out one of the Brazilians, Duda, with the throw. Celtic fans didn't think he'd kept that in. And the decision went his way. Neil Lennon's header. Didier Agat was trying to get on the end of it. Paul Lambert did. Now Agat from Hartson. Good pass, good run from Henrik Larsson. He'll have to hold it up. And gets the throw off header.
Great pass from Didier Agat down that right-hand side. Great run again from Henrik Larsson.
Petrov and Lennon. Now Baldi. Well, the pass he wanted, a little bit over elaborate there, Bobo Baldi. But makes up for it and winning the ball back for Celtic. Thompson looking for Hartson. And there's the man in the mask who wins it for Boa Vista. You've heard of the mask of Zorro, well, it's the mask of Tura. Tura, the Brazilian central defender, with some interesting headgear to protect his broken nose. Hartson, Henrik Larsson, delicately chipped through for Stilian Petrov. I was wondering if he was going to have a crack at goal there. He seemed to be in a great position.
It was time for a hit, Rob, no question. It's a tight pass. You watch Henrik Larsson picking the ball up here. It would normally have a shot. There's no space for Stilian Petrov to try to run into there. I'm sure Henrik now would have preferred to the option of a shot.
Valhanen looked to be distracted. Celtic play on. This is a hard-working Boa Vista side. You can see that already. They're chasing around the pitch, trying to shut Celtic down, but that's a bad miss from Avalov. Hartson puts it through. Henrik Larsson had a chance, but the angle was acute, and Ricardo blocked his way.
Great play from John Hartson. Great first touch. Sees the pass. Henrik Larsson is onto it. It's just too tight for him, Rob. He just can't get enough on the ball to get it back towards goal. But great touch from John Hartson. Great awareness. And Larsson's unfortunate. Tries to chip the goalkeeper. Just couldn't wrap his foot around it.
Went Jos Valhanen to win the header. Petrov, Lennon, Lambert, lovely little triangle of passes. And now is the Bulgarian Petrov with Larsson supplying some width. And the cross blocked by Tura.
Stilian Petrov's not too happy. He feels he was obstructed there just as he was playing that pass.
Paul Lambert flicks it through for the Gats. Lovely bit of skill from the Scotland captain. Was there a handball there? The Celtic fans will need some convincing that there wasn't.
There's definitely a touch, there's no question. I'm sure it's accidental, but there's no doubt Didier Agat's got an opportunity here if the ball isn't touched by hand.
It was Anunsi Sao who jumped on the ball reared up, and there was the contact with his right arm.
That looks deliberate for me.
And the referee, as you see from the picture there, had a good view. He saw the handball, and that should have been a penalty. That's why there was the immediate outcry from the Celtic supporters in that corner, and the immediate outcry as well from the Celtic players who surrounded Frank de Blekeren.
It's a handball, Rob, and it was deliberate for me. So it should have been a penalty kick, no question about it.
Lambert, heavily involved in these opening stages, very creative, very constructive. Alan Thompson with 3 UEFA Cup goals already in this campaign. Who will forget the free kick against Liverpool? Who will forget the diving header in Stuttgart. But some respite for under pressure Boavista, as well, Frank de Blekeren maybe isn't reflecting on it, but we are.
That's deliberate, Rob. He's stopped the ball going to Didier Agat. It's hand to ball, and if that happens, it's a penalty kick. The assistant referee on the far side, he's only yards away from it as well, and they both get a very, very good view of that.
Melby attacking the ball so well. Balde, and the referee not conned by the dive of Luis Claudio. And Incisao, the lucky man who got away with that handball in his own penalty box. Calm defending from Balde. Melby's pass not too hot. Erivan is number 6, another of the Brazilians. Left back or left midfield, his customary positions. Neil Lennon with a brave header because there was a high boot from Duda. Don't worry, we won't do the song. Thompson looking for Hartson, and at full stretch was Eder, and hooked away by Mario Losha. Celtic captain Lambert. John Hartson always a target. Lennon's pass deflected away, but did find its way through to Agat. That was a wild lunge at Paul Lambert, and pretty stern warning here.
It's very, very late. It's a high boot. Losha, I think it is, playing the left wing back area. Paul Lambert had seen it coming, jumped high enough to make sure there was no contact made.
Minutes gone. Lambert's free kick. Hartson's flick. Was that the handball? Henrik Larsson appeals again. The reaction is the same from the Belgian ref.
No question, Henrik Larsson thought it was a penalty kick.
Now Duda streaking forwards for the Portuguese. Pedrosa. Martelinho. That's a good challenge. So well timed by Alan Thompson. Waited his moment, then pounced. But, well, we'll have a look at the second penalty claim right now. Was it or wasn't it?
Henrik Larsson tries to play it back. That's another penalty kick. It's just round about his elbow area, but again, it's arm to ball. And as soon as that makes it deliberate.
And yet again, Frank de Blekeren was about, well, less than 10 yards away to make his ruling.
There's no excuse for that at all.
Good pressure from Celtic in the first 12 minutes and 2 penalty claims already.
I tell you where it's coming from, Rob. John Hartson's had a great start to the match. When the ball's played up high to that man there, he's winning almost every header inside that box.
That's a lovely touch from Larsson. Gets it back from Hartson. He's kept out by Martelinho. But the pressure stays on with Lennon and Lambert. They've got that stranglehold in the middle, and they will be reluctant to let go. Thompson fires it to the feet of Larsson. Celtic playing with a lot of confidence. Good step over from Larsson, but Petrov not on the same wavelength. Valharan has to hurry under pressure from Luis Claudio, the tall Brazilian. It's little and large up front with Claudio and Duda. Celtic looking for the goal that their early pressure merits. Alan Thompson overran that. Now Duda. Luis Claudio with some room in which to operate. But the shot was well off target. He scored the equaliser against Malaga in the quarter-final, Luis Claudio, but he was never going to find the net here.
He's got a bit of space there, Robert. Rab Douglas will be happy with that. Hit a shot from 30 yards or so. If Rab doesn't save it, you'll be disappointed. The Celtic have started well. The Portuguese are playing free at the back, so they have to be aware of the second ball. When Hartson wins it, Henrik Larsson's got to try and make sure he picks up the second one.
14 minutes on the clock, no free kick. Despite the theatrical fall by Duda. Neil Lennon was all set for his protest at the free kick being given when he realised it wasn't.
That decision certainly went in Celtic's favour, with the two penalty kick claims they certainly went against them.
That's good play from Petrov, aggressive in the midfield. But Petrov jumped out of that one. Won by Avalos. Thompson, a probing ball towards Larsson. Agats powering to the byline, and beyond the byline, sadly. But he's a big problem for Boa Vista.
He's so quick, Bob. It's hard to defend against, especially when he gets the ball in the wide area and there's grass in front of him. Just knock the ball and run. Unfortunately, that time, Lanning will be disappointed. Didn't quite get to the ball before it ran out.
Martin O'Neill, of course, a European Cup winner himself in 1980 for Nottingham Forest against Hamburg. This is 30th European tie as Celtic manager. Martelinho steps away from Thompson's challenge. Pedrosa. It was ambitious, but it did have Rob Douglas scrambling across.
I don't think McGrath would have missed this one. I think it's going by the post anyway, but McGrath just making sure.
That's a great play from John Hartson, seeing the option of pulling that down in his chest. Number 5 is Eder. Duda's layoff. Lennon's there for Celtic. Plays it back to Valharan. Now Thompson. Slick stuff from Celtic. Larsson, Petrov. Just about every player involved there in the build-up until the final ball went astray. Great challenge from Lambert, which rescued Celtic with Boa Vista counter-attacking. Control from Watson, turning into trouble though. Eddie Van, Luis Claudio, and Duda looking for it. Eddie Van still going. The layoff for Duda, deflected and wide.
That was a chance. Duda is disappointed. Good play. Playing the left-hand side. Erevan getting the better Jormi Albi. It's a good set-up and good block for Bobo Baldi. Shows the class of the Portuguese when they go forward. Good break.
And you just wondered where that ball was going when it took its deflection. It went behind the first corner kick for Boa Vista. In from Pedrosa. And Douglas under real pressure there. Luis Claudio attacking the ball at the near post.
I'm not sure if the referee's given a free kick here. The big grab made hard work of that one. That should have been a corner kick. There's no touch at all from the big striker.
And then Rob gives him a pat on the back that says, I don't know why that was given my way. It was a great delivery from the corner.
He's a big lad too, Claudio.
Martelinho. Good challenge, Petrov. Stilian Petrov, one of a couple of Celtic starters here on 2 yellows. One more and he misses the next game. Strong play from Baldi. Larsson, Hartson offside.
That was a chance. John Hartson couldn't get back onside. Good play from Henrik Larsson, but John Hartson he's got to take a step back the way. He's got to get back beside the Portuguese last line of defence. Then he's onside, then he's got the advantage. Just couldn't get there quick enough that time.
I think he was hoping there that Larsson would take the ball on himself, Sandy.
Yeah, caught him a little bit by surprise.
Valdez header. And Pedrosa's shot, well off target. Alec McLeish and Jan Wouters alongside him, taking in the Celtic Park action after last night, making it through to the semi-finals of the Tennant Scottish Cup, and of course 8 points ahead of Celtic in the Bank of Scotland Premier League. Marcelino's pass. Van Halen escorts it back to Douglas. Seems to be in a bit of trouble, Jos Van Halen. I don't know whether his finger stuck in the ground as he slid in there, but looked a bit anxious and still does. Good exchange between Agatz and Lambert. Now Balde. Larson's layoff. Petrov. And Ricardo watched it go wide.
Good play from Celtic, good build-up. Still in Petrov might have tried to have a look at John Hartson there, try and play him through. Elected to have the shot from 25 yards. Got to get it on target, got to get the goalkeeper working.
Balde. Good touch. And then thumps it out. Let's hear from Chick in the technical area.
Just what you picked up on there, Rob. Volhan is struggling with it. I think someone stood on his finger, and Brian Scott has been out the dugout getting perhaps a little treatment ready. I don't think it's going to stop Volhan's progress in the match, but he is toiling with a really badly injured finger, and Brian Scott can stand by to do something about it.
It's that left hand that he was hiding behind his back there, Valharan. And it will take a lot, as Chick says, to keep Valharan out of the action here. It looked at one point when he was injured playing for Belgium that he might be out till the end of the season. But he's come back very quickly from that injury. And you can see some blood there in his little finger of that left hand. Balde. All the way through to Larsson. Didier Agat off and running. It's not going to go out. And Eder had to play it. Celtic force a corner.
Good play from Didier Agat. Didn't give that one up. Persevered. Eventually put the Portuguese under. Lots of pressure at the back and earned the corner kick.
Celtic's first corner kick after 22 minutes. And the chance for Galbi and Balde and Valharan to get forward. Thompson's left foot. John Hartson was reaching for the header. Ricardo missed it. Kept in by Balde.
That's a goal. Why does the referee give that one? The two previous ones inside the box he doesn't give.
We seem to see this one clearly enough.
It may have been a free kick against Bobo Balde there, but that's exactly the same. It's an empty ball again. Frustrating.
And Ricardo looked less than clever on the corner kick a moment ago.
I think he got a touch to it, Rob, just in time the last time John Hartson was going to knock it in.
And from Alan Thompson, and no challenge on the Boa Vista keeper.
That's a poor delivery from Alan Thompson. Too easy for the goalkeeper. He's got to entice him, he's got to pull him out his area.
Paul Lambert watched it all the way. Martelinho heads it infield to Pedrosa. Tura. Good running, good movement up front from Luis Claudio. Well won by Lennon. Duda's back heel. Martelinho's cross. And a gap to clear it. Erivan on the ball. Mario Losha. Off Lambert and out.
It's important, Rob, that Celtic concentrate in the back tonight. Boa Vista look a dangerous team when they get forward. That man there, Pedrosa, he's had one or two shots from well out.
Luis Claudio, great turn. Duda takes a tumble. And the shot well wide from Marunzi Sao.
That was another opportunity. It was far out again. and into Sal, just striking at it. Doesn't catch it at all, left foot. As I say, the two strikers, Claudio and Duda, they're a handful.
Free kick against John Hartson. The referee at close quarters to make that decision. Hartson with 24 goals this season, 3 UEFA Cup goals, and 2 big ones, of course, against Celta Vigo and Liverpool. It's been a highly successful campaign so far for Celtic, and they desperately want it to continue on to Seville next month. Once you get to this stage, why not just go on and win it?
That's a good decision from the referee that time. Avalos had a swipe at John Hartson just before the throw-in was taken.
Bobo Balde heads up to the edge of the area. He's the target for Thompson. Won the header, but couldn't really direct it on goal. Jos Valharan has been off the pitch to get some treatment to that hand problem. Man of the match number 0900, 10-225. You could win a new Game Boy SP, which is apparently all the rage, if your man of the match agrees with Sandy's later. Larson, Lambert, Valharan, Thompson. There's a foul by Anunci Sao on Petrov. That surprised look on his face, but it's a tackle from the back.
Yep. Easy one for the referee to make. Haven't seen too much of Petrov so far. He's a vital player in the system at Celtic play.
Another set-piece chance for Celtic. Larson let it go. Tuda saw it coming. Duda. He's Claudio. If he'd got a better touch there in a one-on-one against Mialbi. No free kick. Paul Lambert has it. He's short of options.
He couldn't play forward though. Larson and Haas were both in an offside position. That's good play from Paul Lambert. Hold on to the ball, don't give it away unnecessarily. Showing good experience.
Lambert again dictating the play. Gives it to the feet of Agat. Now Lennon. Unforced error.
He's not too happy, Neil Lennon. I think he tried to play the ball, looking to play it forward to the strikers. There was just no space. Crowded right that time. He should have went back the way Johan Mialbi was on behind him.
There's a surge of excitement every time the ball is at the feet of Didier Agat. He can do real damage. Larson deflected and into the arms of Ricardo.
That's good play from Celtic. He's unfortunate there, Henrik Larsson. Good ball from Agat. I'm not quite sure if Henrik tried that one. Certainly tried to find Hartson. It's a good deflection back to the keeper.
Pedrosa loses out to Agat. Celtic fans want them to get motoring down that touchline. One ball from Mialbi. Headed away by Avalos, the Argentinian. Larson's cross deflected in. Again, it's the Argentinian, Avalos. There was a shriek from behind him because Ricardo wanted them to let it go.
I think the tempo of the game has dropped just a little bit, Rob. I don't think Celtic can let that happen. They've got to try and keep the pace up. They've got to try and put the Portuguese under pressure as much as they can at the back end.
They got off to a great start, Celtic, but not maintaining it at the moment. Hartson to Agat. What's Martin O'Neill saying, Chick?
It's funny, Rob, he senses the frustration amongst the Celtic fans at the moment. He's turned around to some of the supporters and just asked them to calm down a little bit, be patient. He senses the crowd are getting a little bit rattled with Celtic's reluctance or inability, if you like, to score a goal, but he says, calm down, it'll come.
In from Yalby. The punch from Ricardo. Looked as if he was well equipped there to catch it. It's Baldy. Free kick given against him.
Don't think that was a free kick. Like Bobo won the ball, stood his ground.
In from Tura, but a poor free kick. Fired that one straight at Paul Lambert. John Hartson keeps it for Neil Lennon. Larson did so well there to get in front of Martelinho. To do that. And again. Long ball from Martelinho. A chase for Luis Claudio. Aaron to Mjällby. Finds Lambert. Now a chance for a gap to use his pace. Turned away by Ricardo.
That's good play from the goalkeeper, playing the sweeper role there. I tell you, Rob, if it was my goalkeeper, I'd have liked him to have picked the ball up.
Chick, there's some activity with the assistant down below. What's happening?
Yeah, well, Volhan has been called over the touchline. There's blood coming from his finger. It's on his shorts. The linesman, or the assistant referee, has attracted the attention of the referee, and he will be treated now by Brian Scott. You can see the pictures there. Brian Scott's had some bandages ready for him when he come across. They'll do that as quickly as they can and get him back on.
O'Haron's back on. John Hartson rolls it out to Agat. Back to Mjällby. Early ball in. Hartson was waiting. The referee got in the way there of Boavista. Lambert lofts it forwards. Headed away by Mario Locha.
Better pressure from Celtic. It's so important to keep turning the screw as best they can. Keep the ball in the Boavista half.
Erivan for Duda, but Baldy was towering over him. Petrov flicked it on, and Thompson tried to get on the end of it. Across comes Josval Haran. That was a foul by Claudio on Thompson, the big striker having failed to get control of it. Boavista beat Maccabi Tel Aviv, Anorthosis of Cyprus, PSG and Hertha Berlin, both on away goals those, and then Malaga on penalties in the quarter-finals on the way to this stage. Defending in numbers, Boavista against Larson. Chips it over the top for Agat. And Agat can't get there before Eder. On Sunday, we're live with Alec McLeish's Rangers at Tannadice. Dundee United, Rangers, and all the rest, of course, including Celtic Kilmarnock highlights from 2:40 Sunday. Martelinho, O'Haron heads it clear. Lennon, Petrov, Lambert, the central midfield three. Back from Thompson. Boavista will be happy with their containing game, Sandy.
We'll be happy with the score so far, Robin. I can't help feeling that after 34 minutes of this match, Celtic, they're here for the taking, Boavista. They're not the best team in the world. They're organised, they're decent. but this is a game Celtic are capable of getting a result.
It would help if the referee knew what a penalty was. Not much more than 10 minutes away from half-time. And Celtic would love to do something with that blank scoreline. From Duda. Claudio's after it. They won't get there. Balde has become such a crucial cog in the Celtic machine since making his European debut in Turin, the match against Juventus. Hartson's flick. And cleared by the masked man, Paulo Tura. Duda stopped in his tracks by Valharan. And the Celtic fans go quiet. Boavista will be happy Sunday.
That's right. So far, Boavista will be delighted with the result.
Larson. And Thompson. Lambert. There's some space in which he can create something. Knocks it up for John Hartson, who reckoned he was prevented from making a jump for that.
Well, that gamesmanship, I think it was Rob inside the box, but an easy one for the goalkeeper that time. I'm just watching Didier Agat, Rob. He's had a decent game so far, but I don't think he's obviously not quite 100% fit, maybe 95%, so I don't think he can really open his legs going down that right-hand side the way he normally does. He's just maybe holding back that little bit.
He's won that well, Agat. Now he opens up. Not too much on the cross, beyond John Hartson, and a comfortable take for the Boavista keeper Ricardo. That wasn't what Neil Lennon intended. John Hartson tries to make it work and wins a free kick.
It's a little bit soft, that one in John Hartson, but he's not complaining. Just a little nudge in his back as he was trying to control the ball. But better there from the guy down the right-hand side. Maybe just trying to prove me wrong. I hope he is.
Boavista are making a habit of upsetting the odds. They won the Portuguese title 2 seasons ago, and emerging from the shadows of the big three in Portugal, Porto, Benfica and Sporting of Lisbon. And reached the second phase of the Champions League last season. They're no mugs. They wouldn't be here if they were. Alan Thompson taking a lengthy run up. It wasn't the wall of Anfield that time, it stood firm.
Stay.
Petrov to Valharan and back. Something with a lot of possession, a lot of control. But searching for the cutting edge, which will get them ahead in this semi-final. Thompson going infield to pick up possession. Mjällby, Larsson, very tightly marked. Lambert knocks it over the top, hoping to utilise Agat's pace. And Ivan plays it off the Celtic wing back. And Boavista can breathe again.
I think Celtic players are getting just a bit frustrated as well, though. I'm watching Alan Thompson at this moment in time. He ended up in the inside right position there. He's playing left wing back, but he wants to go on the ball and wants something to happen.
29 years since Celtic's last European semi-final. That was the European Cup of 1974, and they lost to Atletico Madrid. Never to be forgotten tie, that one. It's the Spanish side of 3 players sent off and 7 booked. It was crazy stuff. But inside the last 6 minutes of the first half, Duda's back heel. Luis Claudio, who put the deck in theatrical style.
He certainly went down very easily. You heard me, Albie, can't believe it. There's not much in that. There's a bit of body contact, but certainly not enough to knock you over.
The ref's been taken in by the dive.
It's the fact that he's now feeling injury as well, Rob. That's the bit that disappoints me. You know, there's really nothing there. There's nothing in that at all. A nudge, if anything. You see the look of surprise in Johan Albie's face there.
John Hudson there with a face of disgust, unimpressed by the antics of the Boavista players. Amazingly, they've been given the free kick.
It's not nice when that happens.
So important that Celtic stay switched on in these closing stages of the first half, having had so much of the game. Duda. A challenge from Agat. Celtic's throw.
That's better refereeing.
Balde and Melby weren't quite sure there who was going to take that. Paulo Tura. Valharan's challenge penalised. Jimmy Pacheco played for Porto, played for Portugal as well in the '86 World Cup finals, and he was in the Porto team that beat Aberdeen on the way to the European Cup Winners' Cup final of '84. Balde doing the defending and kept in just by Agat. Yeah, surely being held.
Even he can't complain about that one. I think when your team try to con the referee the way that the Portuguese have at times tonight, you're going to get a lot of decisions going against you because of that. The referee's only human. They get their own back in different ways.
Ahead of John Hartson, laid back by Larsson. Good pace on the pass for Thompson. But that was fairly aimless. Something got it back though with Lambert. Melby. Larsson again. Now Agat. Gets it away, and again, for the 3rd time in the first half, Celtic are screaming for a penalty.
I don't think this is one, to be honest with you. Just the fact that he's got his arms up, he doesn't touch the ball with his arms that time.
Yeah, it was the chest that time.
Yeah. I think the fans are just frustrated, Rob, because the previous 2, for me, they were penalty kicks. I think at half-time, Rob McNeil's got a bit of work to do. I haven't seen too much at all from Alan Thompson down wide on the left-hand side. He always wants to go inside. And Stilian Petrov's been a disappointment for me as well. He has to try and find the space beyond the back 3. That just hasn't happened.
Balde's header deflected into the path of Erivan. Now Luis Claudio. That's well won by Neil Lennon. Great challenge. Does that so well. The Celtic supporters calling for more urgency from their team. Lennon to Hartson. Tura. And Erivan. Mjalby beat Duda. Agat. Trying to play that one down the line for Petrov. It's spun out of Mario Losha. John Hartson gets to the byline and wins a corner kick. a late first half chance for Celtic to apply some pressure.
We've got to get all the big guys up this time. Bobo Balde, Johan Nialbe. Let's see if Celtic can get a breakthrough before half time. Great time to get a goal.
Thompson's corner. Van headed it clear. Back from Agat to Thompson. Trusty left foot. Good delivery. Flicked off Henrik Larsson by the looks of it. But it's spun over the crossbar.
Unlucky Henrik Larsson. Good ball in from Thompson. Henrik just trying a little flick, trying to get it on target, but back to goal. It's so difficult. But how many times have we seen that man stick it in the back of the net from that kind of situation?
.45 minutes played. Celtic 0, Boavista 0. And Celtic will feel they have to start all over again in the second half.
They'll be disappointed in front. The penalty kicks are certainly a point of contention. But Boavista, they're well organised, that's the best I would say about them. It takes a little bit of creativity, a little bit of magic to break through that type of defence. Celtic are more than capable of producing that. Hopefully we'll get it second half, if not before.
Larsson hooks in the cross. Ricardo's under pressure, and he's helped out by Martelinho. Celtic want to get it back in the box. Thompson and Lennon. Not the delivery that's going to ask too many serious questions of Boavista.
Not the best of balls from Neil Lennon.
Half-time at Celtic Park, and no way through for John Hartson and company. There's been a fair bit of possession, a lot of possession, a lot of pressure. Not too many clear-cut goal-scoring chances, but there have been a couple of rock-solid looking penalty claims which have been turned down by Frank de Bleker, the Belgian referee. This was the first one, a clear handball from Unan Sisao, and there was the second claim for handball in the penalty box. Henrik Larsson was screaming at the referee. He turned away and said, play on. It's 0-0 at half-time in this UEFA Cup semi-final.
And it's all terribly frustrating, really, isn't it? No goals, frankly, not really very much approaching a goal, and Celtic, with the bulk of the possession, unable to break through. And I suppose, Gordon, Boavista living up to their billing. They're a big, physical, spoiling, organised side without very much creativity.
That's exactly what they are. They're a hard-working side. Tremendous work rate to try and close Celtic down. Celtic started well. They looked as if they're going to get a bit of success. We're playing it up early to join.
To break the deadlock, it's 0-0 at half-time. Let's go back to Celtic Park and to Robin Sandy.
It's all going according to plan. Sadly, it's Boavista's plan to contain Celtic and to get the sort of result here that they can take back to Oporto in 2 weeks' time and build on. And when you think that their last 3 UEFA Cup ties have been won with 1-0 home wins at their stadium in Oporto, then you can see where they're coming from. And these Celtic supporters have been in the main frustrated in the first half, with not too many clear-cut goal-scoring opportunities coming their team's way. Although they might well have had a penalty. If it was down to atmosphere, Celtic would have this tie won already. Actually, if the referee was to kick off just now, Celtic would have the tie won as well, because Boavista aren't on the pitch yet.